Our last day on Lake Michigan, and the water is absolute glass. As Manistique fades away, I'm taking one last look at the East Breakwater Lighthouse. In my book, there isn't a better color combination than that iconic red against the deep UP blue. With blue skies and light winds, it's the kind of morning that makes you want to turn the boat around and do the whole thing over again. But today, the sail plan is set. We're heading 64 miles south to Washington Island, soaking up every last minute before we make it back to the bay. Man, was it shallow back there.
Yeah, it was shallow coming out of Manistique. We saw 3.4, I believe. Yeah, on our depth gauge. And I'm not sure if that's how much we have below the keel at that point, but we do draft 3'10". So I'm not sure how close we really were, but it'll always be fun to see. When you got 2 inches, you got 5 inches below the keel. But I really recommend Manistique, Michigan for a visit. It's a nice, quaint town. Nice shops, good places to eat, a couple good bars. They have a boardwalk. We didn't walk too far on, but it takes you out to the pier or out to the lighthouse, and then it can take closer quite a ways if you don't go that direction. Today we got up, it's a beautifully calm water, and we're heading to Washington Island. We got 3 knots. Of speed at the moment, and we're not on course anymore because we're pinching it to the wind. Yeah.
Well, we gave it a try, but we weren't able to sail. We were heading in the completely wrong direction, and we were only going 3 knots, so we gave it up. But maybe we can sail a little closer to the islands. I think this is Rock Island over here. But I don't remember Rock Island having this much sand. But it looks like a beautiful, like, little sandy island, maybe off of the island.
That's called Rock Island. I don't know what that is. That is called... let's see. I don't see a name out there. It's really hard to see with the sun on the screen right now.
I'd go there if it doesn't smell like bird poo. So we should be there in about 2 hours. We're heading back to Island Outpost. What island is that over there?
Poverty Island.
Oh. Once the sails were put away, we had nothing to do but sit back and take in the view. We passed by the Potawatomi Islands. This string of islands marks the transition from Lake Michigan to Green Bay. This archipelago is often called the Grand Traverse Islands. As we motor south, we're passing by Little Summer, Poverty, St. Martin, and Rock Island. Washington Island is the largest of this group, but seeing these smaller islands slip by really gives you a sense of how much history is tucked away in this corner of the lake. It was the perfect low-effort stretch of the trip.
Wind's picking up a little bit. It's definitely still on our nose. It will be on our nose the whole trip. It's still a gorgeous day out here on Lake Michigan.
As we rounded Washington Island, there was more activity than we'd seen in days. We spotted the ferry docks first, but the best sight was seeing our buddy boats tying up on the wall. Nothing tests your docking skills quite like a crowd of friends watching from the pier, but Mark managed to whip us around and stick the landing with plenty of help from our friends waiting there to catch our lines.
On the front here? I'll try and spin around here. Okay, all right. Don't go north.
Is that like you're whipping a shitty?
We whipped a shitty.
Nice job. Did you count the bumps on the way out of Manistique?
Oh, yeah, we hit
again?
we hit
Like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
We just kept bumping.
I was calling, I just bumped.
After we finally tied up at the marina, it was time for a night on the town. Our friends let us borrow the car, and we all piled in and headed to KK Fiske Restaurant Granary. You'll notice we don't film much when we're out with our friends. I'd rather be present and enjoy the conversation than have a lens in the way. But if you're ever on Washington Island, this place is a must. It's the first time that we've ever been there, and between the history of the building and the atmosphere, it's a local staple for a reason. Mike, you gotta spin her around on the floor.
Well, good morning. It's Saturday. We're going to be leaving Washington Island today and heading down to Ocano. We'll be shoving off the dock here probably in about an hour. Today's forecast is basically going to be wind on our nose, so we won't be sailing today. Thinking it's going to be around 10, maybe 4 to 10 knots. It's going to be kind of variable, but mostly on our nose. The biggest thing today is going to be spotty showers. So we just have to get pushed down for another 8 to 9 hours to get down to Ocano, and then we're about 5 hours from home at that point. Looking forward to a nice meal at dockside tonight.
We left Washington Island with the ferries coming and going, heading towards Oconto. By looking at all the haze, you would never know that there was a beautiful sunrise this morning. So we're heading south, making our way to Ocano. It's just amazing to me how many more people are here once you get to Door County. There's fishing boats, sailboats, and the storm is passing us to the north, just right back there. And this is Death Store Bluff. past the bluffs of Door County, the rain started. Just a steady, soaking rain. We sat there in our rain gear watching the shoreline pass.
Rain intermittent for the next 2 hours. I would say it's 100% chance at the moment.
Looks like there's a sailing ship coming. It looks really kind of creepy.
Yeah, there's definitely an image of a boat, the mast it looks like. Yep. It's a ghost ship. Got our autopilot covered up with a bag because in the past when it's gotten wet it just shuts off on us, so let's see if this helps. There's another sailboat over there against the tree line. Lightning. It's actually a warm rain. It's not as bad as it probably looks. And we don't have a lot of wind, so it's pretty much everything's all straight down, which is nice. And it's not going to rain, I think, all that long. But nonetheless, we still got another 5 hours, maybe 4.5 hours yet on the water here before we get to our destination. It's not all that bad, it's just kind of wet. Oh, this is the Peshtigo Light, marking the reef out in front here. So you do not ever want to go between that lighthouse and the shore. Very shallow in there. About 40 minutes away from Ocano. The weather has really changed. As you can see, we got blue skies. Lori's still in the same position. Of course, so am I. I'm sitting on a boat. However, I have put fenders on each side of the boat, so we're ready to go for the fuel dock. We're going to get fuel, we're going to get a pump out, and then we're going to get tied up by dockside and have dinner tonight. That's our plan. Last night of the trip.
Last supper.
Last what?
Our last supper.
This is the last supper.
We just want to interrupt super quick to say thanks to this guy for being our 500th subscriber. Thank you, Brian. Now back to the show.
Never a great thing when you see washer in a cutter pin on the deck of the boat. Really don't know where it came from. Nothing that we can tell down below here, so we'll just see if there's anything up here inside the sail cover here. Oh, it's right here. It's our oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of this all of a sudden.
Gooseneck?
Yeah, the gooseneck, thank you, the gooseneck pin. So, that, I knew it was it was always kind of a little bit of a crappy pin that we had stuck in there. You can see kind of why it might have fell out. I know it was always hanging down like this on that thing, but it must have flipped over and came out, so we'll have to do one of those ring things on there.
Cotter
Rings on there. We'll put that on next.
Glad we found that.
feel like I gotta push that pin down a little bit yet in order to get this in.
Got her?
Yeah, I think so. There, much better. I don't have to worry about it. I'll let you give me a continuous line and I'll look in here.
Okay.
Leaving O'Connell, and we got about a 4-hour trip back to Windjammers. Once again, we are motoring on this sailing adventure, and it's not going to get windy at all today, it sounds like. And I don't know how much we actually sailed on this whole trip percentage wise, but I don't know if we sailed 20% of this entire trip. But again, you're on the water is still great. Just that obviously you'd like to have perfect winds for sailing. But then again, I know when you're on Lake Michigan, perfect wind for sailing may not be so great either, because you get some pretty big seas out there, big waves. So overall, it was a great first experience going across Lake Michigan and coming back around. You can say that with only a few hours left. Probably jinxing ourselves, but it kind of went off without a hitch. It's pretty nice.